Now here's a technique I had done a while back in CS2, and it's taking an image and making it seem as though the outer edges of it are kind of a line drawing, and it kind of fades into the photograph, almost as if it's a blueprint that kind of reveals what the image will actually look like. And I'd done it in CS2, and it used several layers and several different types of layer masks. Well, now in CS3, through the use of smart filters, we can use a lot less layers and still achieve the same, if not better effect, and even have a greater degree of control over it. So, to begin with, let's go into our layers palette. I'm going to double click on this layer to make it a regular layer itself. Then we're going to go into the filter menu and go down here to convert for smart filters. And of course, converting, when you do this, it's the very same thing as turning it into a smart object. You can simply go into the layer panel menu here and just go to convert to smart object. It does the exact same thing. It's just in two different places. So once that is done, we will go down to, in the filter menu, go down here to stylize to find edges. And it will go ahead and generate an outline, basically almost like a sketch of that image. Now as you see, it has applied it to the entire image, and I only want it to be applied to part of it. Well, if we look over here in the layers panel, you see that there's our layer, and beneath it we have a layer mask for our smart filter, indicating here this is the filter that's been applied, and this is the mask we can use to hide or reveal certain parts of that effect. So, clicking and highlighting or selecting that layer mask, I'm going to go over here to my toolbar and select the gradient tool. And inside the gradient editor, we're going to choose the second one right here, which is a black to transparent. So, hit OK. Oh, got to select it first. And we'll go into here. Now, I'm going to do something kind of backwards here. I'm going to start at the top here. I'm just going to hold the Shift key down and drag in a little bit to draw a selection. And as you can see, it's revealing the actual photograph in that top area. I'm going to go all the way around the image and do all of that. So it kind of goes in. Now, what I'm wanting to happen here is that I want the photograph to be in the middle area, and it kind of fades out to the outline area, which is obviously right now it's doing the exact opposite. So all we need to do to fix that is inside the layer mask, you can see that it is simply just a black and white gradient in there. If I press Command or Control I, it will invert the values of that mask, thereby reversing the effect. So there is the center area revealing the image, and the outer edge shows the outline effect that we've created. Well, the outlines still are retaining some color artifacts in there, so I'm going to load that layer mask as a selection. And of course, if you know about alpha channels, when you load a alpha channel as a selection, all the white and gray areas will be selected areas, and black will be unselected altogether. So I'm going to hold down my Command or Control key and click right on that layer mask. It will load it as a selection. Then I'm going to go under the adjustment menu here, and we're going to go to set. Now normally I'd probably go to gradient map, which if I do that you'd see, let's apply a standard black to white gradient, hit OK, and what you can see is that it has removed that color information altogether, leaving those lines just black and white. Which, if that's what you're going for, by all means, go ahead and stay with that. But I want this to look like kind of like a blueprint. So, loading that selection once again, I'm going to go back into that layer adjustment or adjustment layer menu, and we're going to choose solid color. Then, I'm going to choose a blue color. Let's just go and select any blue here and hit OK. Now, it's of course filled that entire area with that color, so I need to adjust the blending mode. So let's try and go with overlay. And you see that it has given that area a little bit of blue color, especially in the lines, to give it a more of a blueprint look to it. So you can see what we have here in the layers is only two layers. There's our original layer with the smart filter applied to it and masked out, only revealing parts of it. And then we colored that area of the effect with one simple adjustment layer. So in only two layers we've achieved this effect, whereas in the last, back in CS2 when I was doing this, I had to have done maybe 3 or 4 layers to achieve this effect and do all the different types of settings. So you can see the power of smart filters. And of course we haven't done anything to our original image. If I go over here into this icon and double click it, it'll open up that original file. So you can see that it is completely untouched. So I can make any color adjustments I want to, or any other effects I can do in here, and then close it, and it will update in this file automatically, retaining all those effects we have applied. So experiment with it yourself with smart filters and see what kind of results you can come up with.